An ex-White House interpreter says she has been canceled over her support for former President Donald Trump after an online mob outed her for wearing a Keep America Great hat and interpreting for conservative groups on Facebook. But she's fighting back against that. And the owner of Chesapeake Interpreting, Heather Mushaw, joins us right now. Heather, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. Okay, so we just wanted to get to the bottom of this. Time Magazine did something where they essentially outed you as a supporter of Donald Trump, but that's not exactly right, is it?
No, not exactly. I've worked as a professional interpreter for 21 years in the D.C. area, and it was an honor and a privilege to work at the White House for their COVID briefings, and I did a total of 6 COVID briefings over the span of the Trump administration and the Biden administration. And the feedback from the White House has been very positive. And for contrary to the news reports, I was not fired for that. I worked as an independent contractor, and the relationship has been positive.
Right. And Time Magazine report revealed that you had translated speeches for conservative social media groups. But I would imagine as a professional translator, you would just translate for anybody who asked you to help. You know, it's not based on ideology. It's not based on politics. You're trying to help people.
Right. I would say the mantra on Twitter is retweets are not endorsements. I would say that same thing applies here, to where on social media there's a plethora of content that's created by individuals, and it's just tons of videos online, and they're not accessible to the deaf community. And so a colleague of mine whose staff approached me last summer and said, hey, you know what, a lot of conservative content is not accessible to the deaf community. Can you help us by providing interpretation? So our group on Facebook has received over 2,000 requests for interpretation for videos. And I'm proud to be part of a group of people that are volunteering to provide access, which they're guaranteed under the American with Disabilities Act to have.
Indeed. There was some stuff online that showed a picture of you where you're wearing a Keep America Great hat. And, you know, that went with the whole thing that you were canceled or you were fired. But you said a moment ago you weren't fired.
I was not fired. The relationship has been very positive. And contrary to some of the reports, I did not wear the hat to the White House. That was a photoshopped image of a clip from my volunteer work that was transposed onto a White House briefing photo, and that's not true. And also, just to say, some of these videos that we've interpreted, some of them were Trump rally videos that were requested. Right. And we use all of the tools in our plethora to be able to convey the message. And sometimes you use a prop, which is a hat or a scarf or some sunglasses. And it was for that specific video only. So it has nothing to do with my professionalism that I've been able to provide interpreting services for 21 years.
So, you know, you've been caught up in this Twitter tornado here for a day or two now. What's your observation about how they've come after you because they thought, oh, she's a Trump supporter and she was working in the White House, and we can't ever have that happen again?
I think that it's a clear indication that there is a double standard. There, like I said in my New York Post article, there is an interpreter in the Atlanta area who is a liberal activist, and he goes and interprets for the Republican governor, and he's been lauded. There's been articles written about him, and he's praised. However, when I go and do a professional job at the White House and do a wonderful job, I'm getting the opposite reaction, and that's just not right.
Yeah. The White House did put out a statement using the interpreters as a whole. They said the president and this administration have made a commitment to having an American Sign Language interpreter at every press briefing and are working to follow through on that commitment every single day. Heather, do you think there's a possibility that the Biden team will call you and say, hey, you know the way over to the White House, why don't you come and help us out?
I'm sure that in the future there may be a possibility, and I think that would be an honor. I just think at that time, at the time right now, it's just not probably a good idea. Probably
right. All right. Heather Mushaw, we thank you very much for joining us and telling us your side of the story. And folks, you heard her. She was not canceled and she was not fired.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heather.